Last to go. Keep dancing. Hey, I gotta give a shout out to our girl Vanessa. She is on the Billboard charts. Okay, let's give her a little bit of a.
She's in England right now.
Oh, we
practicing
know
rehearsing for her musical.
For The Devil Wears Prada on the West End, which is the West End London, which is the Broadway of London. You close up, Chris, so I took over.
Was that an applause? Was that an applause break?
And I didn't know how to shut it off. Yeah, it was. I'm sorry, I'm late. Hello.
So yeah. So Vanessa's over in London doing the most, and her single is doing the most, and I like it. And I'm kind of like, it's one of those like, I say the lady, like, woo.
She always had like the song
it's a ditty.
in your head.
I like dancing to it.
The bops.
It's a ditty.
It is. It's all about the bops.
I shouldn't say ditty anymore, huh?
No, you should not.
But it's D-I-T-T. I think it's D-I-T-T-Y, ditty.
That's what I was explaining to someone the other day. It's D-I-T-T-Y. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Why don't we just like label Vanessa her own term and just make it a vitty? A vitty. Instead of drop the D and put a V in front of it. A vitty. Hashtag vitty. We've created something right now. Hashtag vitty. It's all about the vitty.
Has she done that challenge, the English challenge, when people do like the fake English accents, all these different You haven't seen it?
No,
I've never seen that.
Amanda Seales did it. She did really well. Who did it?
And yeah. I thought I saw Amanda Seales do it. Yeah.
And it was a couple of other ones I saw that they were actually pretty good. I tried.
The words that you have to say, right?
It was sad. Yeah, I tried it. It was very sad. I'm like, as much English TV as I've been watching, PBS since 1977, and I can't even fake a half of an English accent. Talk less.
Oh my God, I'm gonna go look it up on TikTok and do it and see. Is
it a TikTok thing or is it an Instagram thing?
I think it's a little bit of both because I've seen it on Instagram and I've seen it on TikTok.
Yeah,
because they kind of like go back and forth with whatever.
Yeah, they go.
I don't know where it originated. When Darius was little, and I used to have him watching Peppa Pig all the time, I used to be like, I'm gonna make this kid have an English accent. I was trying so hard. Didn't click. He too ghetto.
Has he curbed that cologne spraying?
Am I white now? Did I change?
Ooh, wow.
Am I Caucasian? Am I Caucasian? No. Homeboy is.
He's still taking showers.
But let me tell. Okay, before we get into our topics, let me tell you this one big thing. Like, he just turned 13. Now, I told you guys when I took him to the store and he wanted.
You should explain that he has your grandson has an affinity for cologne.
Cologne, cleanliness, his teeth, mouthwash. It's like he I bought for his birthday. I literally got him the cologne, but then I also got him like the Nivea male wash. Anything with male wash, whatever, he's gonna be like, "Oh my God, thank you, TT." But so we went to the store. So he wanted a Nike suit, and I was just like, okay. So he's like, "Oh no, can I get this cologne and this other stuff?" I'm like, "It's either that other stuff or the Nike suit." So he's like, he comes up with the tongue scraper, mouthwash, soap. Right?
Listen to me. The tongue scraper got me. Listen, a lot of people don't know about that tongue scraper. That's why they out there with that halitosis. You got to scrape the tongue, the back of your throat, all the way to the tip of your tongue.
You just use the brush. Can't you just use the brush?
Sure you can. But
the tongue,
listen to me. The tongue scraper is next level shit. And good. Cheers to you, Darius. I'm with you on that.
Because I said,
just have a tongue scraper.
I said, just use the brush. I use the brush. He goes,
nope.
No.
He needs a tongue scraper.
Tongue scraper.
He needs
Wow.
a tongue scraper.
Got
Tell
him the
him to
tongue
keep
scraper.
doing that mess. Listen, Darius, me and Darius is 100 on that one.
And then he says, I need to go to the dentist because it's been a while since I've been to the dentist. So I made an appointment, took him to the dentist. My boy is just like, he wants
When's the last time he went to the dentist?
I think like 2 years ago.
Why isn't he getting?
He should go every year. I don't know why he didn't go.
He should go twice a year.
Yeah, he goes to go twice a year. So I don't know why he didn't go. Or it could be, I don't know why he didn't go. But he told me, I was on it. I took him. Took him right away. And he's just all over. He got perfect teeth. He didn't have like any cavities or anything. He has
perfect.
Really good teeth. Dad has like beautiful teeth.
That's beautiful.
But anyway, but back to the cologne. He likes to wear cologne.
Likes to wear cologne, and he don't want the cheap cologne. He wanted some $100 something cologne or whatever. But I bought him like the travel size, the 3 in the travel size, and it's almost gone. And I got it on May 1st.
You know where you should take him? Ross. Do you have Ross there?
We don't have a Ross.
Oh,
Burlington
Ross
Coat Factory. Burlington Coat Factory. Do you have one close by you?
That's where we went and got the tongue scraper and all the other bullshit.
Yes. Burlington Coat Factory and TJ Maxx and Marshalls.
Ross.
Go to either one of those, and you'll see they have like the whole section where you can get the cologne, the tongue scrapers, whatever he needs, you can get it.
Well, that's where he got it from, the Burlington Coat Factory.
If you really want to be extra for him, go to Scentbird.com.
Anyway, all right, let's roll.
Yeah, let me just finish this. Scentbird it's like a monthly subscription.
I have Scentbird.
Okay, then they have the Scentbird for men, and where they send monthly the fragrances for men. He would love that. He might be a little too young for that, but we'll see.
You think?
Yeah.
All right, moving on off of my crazy ass grandson. What is going on? What are we talking about today? Are we going to start off with Angel Reese?
Yes, let's do it.
I'm not a big WNBA fan. I like it. I'll watch it every once in a while.
Sorry. Not many people are. But people are starting to
into it this year, and I think a lot of it because of this rivalry that I feel like the media has created to a point, this rivalry against Caitlin Clark, because you got to have your great white hope in every sport, and then Angel Reese, who you got to have your bad guy always. So they created this, and I'm looking at like these other athletes who are coming down on the other women who saying they're being too rough on Caitlin. Like, she did get fouled the other day. The girl like knocked her ass to the ground, and it wasn't even Angel Reese. And it's like, she got back up and she said, you know what? I know this is going to happen in the game. It doesn't bother me. Move on. But these men, and it's not just white men, it's these black men athletes who are coming out and like, there needs to be rules changed. You got to protect her. Stephen Smith he's a menace to society. He is a fucking menace.
Yeah, but we would not be talking about the WNBA if it wasn't for her.
Period.
But this is
true. So it goes both ways.
Right?
I mean, it goes both ways. And there was an incident, not with Angel Reese, but there was an incident where a black girl took another clotheslined her and took her down by the neck.
That's the one I was
talking about. Knocked her to the ground. But they didn't talk about that. They didn't talk about.
That was Angel Reese.
Huh? No, it wasn't Angel Reese.
No.
Are you sure?
But no one talked about that. But since it was on Caitlin, since it was on the Savior, her, that's why they, up in arms. But she's also a rookie too. You don't treat rookies the same way that you would treat anybody else.
And they also thought she's gonna come out making like 20-something points a game. Angel Reese has done that, but she has not done that. So
but you wouldn't be talking about the WNBA.
we'll
we
have
wouldn't
to
be talking about him. So
right. I know. I got what you're saying, that, because she's white and the savior. It's the same thing like with basketball. When Larry Bird came in, all of a sudden it was
That's what
all
this is.
about the Celtics. It was, you couldn't do
well,
any,
they were pretty damn good though.
yeah, and
Let me
And
just
Larry
let
Bird
me,
was the truth.
he
let
was
me just say
good.
this.
But you can't say, what about all the other players that were just in the same league as him? Like, what, he was the only one?
No, Larry Bird was no joke.
Yeah, and
And
so
the
was
rivalry between
Dr.
him
J,
and Magic.
was no
Yeah, but
joke.
the
So
rivalry
was
between him and
Urban.
Magic, that's where it, heated up
That's
between the
what I was about to say. This is the second coming on the female side within the WNBA. Angel Reese and
Well,
what's
I
her
wouldn't
name?
put her there yet, Tanya. Let her
Listen,
get
I'm
some
Caitlin
putting it
Clark.
points.
there. I'm putting it there because at the
No,
end of
let
the
her
day,
get some
we're
points.
talking about it. We're
No,
talking
no,
about
no.
it.
Listen
And
to what I'm
everybody is
saying.
talking about it. Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark are the magic and bird of this century, and I'm glad that I'm alive to witness this shit. I was not. I'll be honest with you. I was never interested in the WNBA. Period.
I'm still not.
I watched a couple of games before the Caitlin Clarks and the Camila Cardozos and the Angel Reeses came on the scene. I watched a couple of friggin' games and I was just like, yeah, it's not for me. It's like me watching women's boxing or women's ultimate fighting. And I'm just like, yeah,
Yeah,
it's not.
that's different though. That's different
No,
because
it is.
women.
But me, I'm just like, as a woman, I'm like, I don't want to see that shit. But I gave grace to the WNBA. Didn't watch it enough, but once Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, Camila Cardozo, and all these other women came out, I was like, okay, it's getting popularity. Let me watch a couple of games, and I like it. And I feel like this: they're both rookies. The three of them are rookies, and they're gonna catch hell. It is what it is. So why are we having commentary or debates about, oh, you're doing too much for Kate, you're doing the most with Caitlin Clark and she's getting elbowed or whatever.
They are though.
Nature of the beast at
that point, and I agree with exactly what you're saying in that point. The only reason I say I wouldn't put them in the category of Magic and Bird yet is because they both well, Reese has come out and she's done pretty well. Caitlin is still struggling to find her footing and to get some points. So we got to see where she go, and she has plenty of time to get that
I mean,
footing.
she's on an awful team too.
Yeah, awful team don't stop you from scoring, but
and her teammates ain't got her back. Let's just call a spade a spade.
Oh, have you seen the game?
Her back when she's
getting
jackhammered in the neck.
Do you know that?
And pump. Look at the roll the tape.
Yeah, you ain't gonna see a whole game. That's different than making an assumption on a whole game.
When she got sidelined and fell on the floor, her teammates did nothing. She was just laying on the floor.
You saw her get.
If that was the NBA, let's just call it spade a spade. If that was the NBA, and if what's his name, Tatum, I don't know that. I don't know. I don't follow
Jason
NBA.
Tatum.
If Jason Tatum got sidelined in his neck and fell to the floor, that whole entire Boston Celtics bench would have cleared out and beat everybody's ass. It would have been a whole ass debauchery. I don't like the fact that Caitlin Clark.
But Dorian, you haven't even been watching. You've been watching to make such a wild assumption. You haven't even been watching.
I watched the clip. I've seen the clips where Caitlin Clark got elbowed and punched and the whole nine and got laid out, and her teammates are just sitting there and they don't do nothing. Even her coach.
Okay.
It is what it is. It is. And listen, it's a sport. We all know. We're old enough to know that in professional sports, when rookies come into the league, regardless if they're great, if they're whatever, mediocre, you're still a rookie and you're still going to catch hell and you're still going to have to pay your dues. I'm not saying that Caitlin Clark needs a beat, but damn, where's your fucking teammates? When you got your ass knocked out, why didn't your teammates clear the bench and have your back?
No one cares about the WNBA.
No, and at the end of the day, I think that all of this shit is going to be to the detriment of the WNBA.
No, I don't think so. It is growing.
No, not to the detriment. No, it's not to the detriment.
Yeah, I know.
We're talking about it. The fact that we're actually even talking about the
but we've been talking.
good for the NWA.
It is good.
Let them
I'm
get
just like
regular size balls too. You know they play with a smaller ball too. You know that, right?
Oh, what? I didn't know that.
You know they play with a smaller size ball too.
Oh, I didn't know they had
shocked that
the balls.
men athletes are just so like, you got to protect her at all costs, where the women athletes are like, no, this is part of the game. She's going to grow into it and whatever. So the coddling, it just needs to stop.
It needs to stop.
I feel like once she finds her footing, then it'll be a little bit more equal, or at least we'll have like a rivalry, because Angel came in here and she's playing like she been in there a minute. So she's only going to get better too. So I enjoy it. I'm not like rushing out to go and see them. I don't even know if we have a women's league near here.
What I can't believe is that we don't have a WNBA team in Boston. I mean,
that's what I was surprised. Yeah.
Because there's a lot of on a side note, can I just give a little kudos? What?
He's like, no one cares
about the WNBA.
Yes, they do. Go ahead, Tanya.
All I care about is, can we talk about, we on WNBA, but can we talk about the fucking Ellie, the mascot for the New York Liberty? Whoever is in that costume is that motherfucker. I don't know if it's a woman. I don't know if it's a man. I don't care. But Ellie, the elephant for the New York Liberty, is that bitch.
Why do you like
Nobody cares about the New York Liberty. Nobody cares about the team, but everybody cares about Ellie the elephant that comes out.
Ellie the elephant? Okay.
Oh,
what else is going on? Because Chris is falling asleep.
Oh, sorry.
What else is going on, Chris?
No one cares about that.
All right, we didn't heard you say that 9 times.
You want to talk about that? You want to talk about that man the older man who got interviewed by a younger man. He said, "Do you regret anything in your life? If you could go back and redo," he said, "I wouldn't be such a hoe, and I would want to be with my baby mama and treat her better." He said, "My whole family was a hoe. My uncles are a hoe. My brothers were a hoe. And even my mama was a hoe."
Oh. True.
So you took umbrage with the fact that you didn't think the mama was a hoe just because she had five different baby daddies?
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a hoe?
Oh, that's a hoe.
Let me go back and say something. When I was very young, well, not very, because I am old, so it had to be very young. Fucking that old now. I was very young. But when I was younger, in my 20s, I would say like 30s, I feel like I was an extremely judgmental person. And like women who had multiple baby daddies or whatever, I would be like, fucking hoe. Or just in general, would call people or whatever. And then I just...
I'm still like that.
And then I just got to the age, and I think it was like around in my late 30s, early 40s. It's just like most women, and I'm not saying all, but most women who go from man to man to man, especially women who have multiple baby fathers, they are looking for one of those people to stick. And they're hoping to have, just hear me out without all the facial...
I'm listening. I'm listening.
Yeah, with an air thing in your ear, and you can't hear me, but you're like this. But no, I just feel like a lot of them they want to have that relationship, and instead of using birth control or whatever with this to stop a pregnancy, they think that pregnancy is going to help them hold on to that person, and that person moves on, then the next person moves on, and a lot of times they're looking for somebody to commit to them, and especially Black women, because we are the least likely to be married in our lifetime but still have these multiple children. And men like this who come out and say, I was a hoe and I did X, Y, and Z, and I never committed to any woman. So his baby mama might have that one child by him, but who's not to say that she doesn't have multiple children by somebody else who thought the same way he did. So I try and refrain from calling women hoes who I don't know. I don't lump women into that category because she has had multiple partners. What makes how many partners?
But it's okay to call a man a hoe, though.
No, I'm not even saying that.
Oh, so you're saying there's no hoes in general?
No, I'm not saying that. Like, he's saying he was a hoe. So okay, I'm gonna take you for your word, and you're admitting and you're saying, I don't know his mama.
Yeah.
I don't know the reasons why she was sleeping around. He's telling you the reasons why he was sleeping around and why he was a hoe. He's telling you those reasons. That it's a choice that he made. I don't know what the choices were other than his mother lay down with 5 men. Who has slept with more than 5 men? I'm quite sure it's probably more, but those are the 5 that she had children with. So no, I don't label women hoes unless I know their story personally, or they have told me their stories. But just because a woman has multiple partners, I'm not calling her a hoe. I'm not doing
multiple babies by multiple partners.
I'm not doing it. And you literally could have slept with a person one time and got pregnant. There's so many different situations that could have been on the fact that she has 5 children by 5 different daddies. It don't sound like she was like, essayed or anything like that, but it sounds like she made some really bad decisions. But in those
5 babies, but if you have 5 babies by 5 different daddies, you a hoe.
How are you a hoe? I didn't sleep with more than 5 people in my fucking lifetime. That makes me a hoe.
But you didn't have 5. You didn't have 5 different babies.
You have 5 babies.
Yeah, that's because I made. But I
can't. 5 receipts.
Okay, all right.
You got 5 receipts.
Listen. I'll rewind.
Decision.
Listen, I'll
5
rewind.
times.
Listen,
probably more than that. Probably way more than that.
Yeah,
what makes a hoe?
You asked me and you didn't let me finish. So I don't know what her situation is. She very well could be a hoe. I know somebody who has 2 kids, and I would consider them, I wouldn't call them a hoe, but I would consider them a little bit too free for me with their body. And she got much more on her ticket than five baby daddies, but she only got 2 kids. But so he says he's a hoe.
1 baby.
He says that he's a hoe. She has 2 baby daddies.
Well, then I just label that as irresponsible, because
extremely
at the end of the day,
irresponsible.
And
that's what I would say.
All right, I will rewind my hoe comment, and I'm not. I'll say, all right, bitch, you ain't a hoe, but you fucking highly irresponsible. Like, you don't know the concept of birth control. Come on.
But how many
people? What's the definition of a hoe?
Do that.
Let's get the definition of what is a hoe. A definition of a hoe. Maybe that's the discrepancy is. What do you define?
Let's talk about what Dude said, because he made a very valid point that we've all talked about. His whole thing was because he chose to be a hoe and just go from woman to woman to woman, and he also said using women for and going on about his business, that here he is now 60 something years old, looking very old and frail for 60. For a Black man, he was not looking great, and has nobody that he's built anything with, nobody that he can depend on to take care of him, nobody that he needs to take care of, and he's just basically alone, and that's what he regrets. And I feel like
he was the one he defined what a hoe was. He said, "I'm a hoe," and with his He said, I'm a hoe, and his definition of what a hoe was, he said, I'm a hoe, and the examples that I came from were my brother's a hoe, my grandfather's a hoe, all that. And he said, even my mama was a hoe. So in his definition of what a hoe is, he said his mama was a hoe. Now, for a man to say that his mama was a hoe, she probably is a hoe if under his definition of what a hoe is. If he says, well, my mama wasn't a hoe.
I'm thinking about what he said about his life, the choices that he made. That's what I thought we were talking about. I mean, well, you care about that his mother's a hoe? I don't care. She got 5 kids.
Listen, I don't care about that man's mother being a hoe. But at the end of the day, it trickles down. This is where I'm coming from. It trickles down. Your mama's a hoe. Your mama, I'm pretty sure that his mentality, I'm going to go with old boy's mentality, where he was like, I regret being a hoe. Because you are a product of how you were raised, period. And if his mother was a hoe out there, you know, he might be the only man that we know. He might have 6, 7 brothers and sisters with his mama, with like 6, 7 baby daddies that we don't know of, that we're talking about.
She had 5 children.
Right, she had 5.
That's beside. That's beside.
She had 5 children, 5 different baby daddies.
Then, at the end of the day, why would he have children? Irresponsible as fuck, and she's irresponsible as fuck. And how are you going to live that life and then raise these 5 children responsibly? So,
with no father,
for the brother that was like, I regret being a hoe because I had this family and I was doing this and doing that. I watched it. I sent you all the video, and I was like, wow, this is something we should talk about. Because at the end of the day, men like him, it's like he feels some sort of way, and I'm just like, here we go with the whole hospice care wife situation. Like, you wanted to sling your dick. You had a good woman. He admitted it. He had a good woman in his family back in the day, but he wanted to keep slinging his dick. And now he's at the point where he's like, well, I got nobody to take care of me. And I'm like, oh, you need a hospice care wife. And this is why I stay by myself, because I'm done with these old ass men, period. I brought it back to me because I'm that bitch.
Chris, why you?
Because I think I'm just confused on what was the initial topic, what we were talking about. Because I thought you took umbrage. I think you took umbrage with the fact that he said that his mother. You said that his mother was not a hoe. She just made bad choices. So I thought that's what we were kind of arguing. Like, you're saying, well, she's not necessarily a hoe. And I was going, well, in his own definition of what a hoe is, he's a hoe, this and the other. And he called his mama a hoe through his own definition of what a hoe is. And by the results and the facts that she had 5 baby daddies and 5 kids, to me, if he's using his definition, she would be a hoe. And he cited evidence for that.
Yeah.
Now, yes, she could have made mistakes and some and the other, but, you know.
She's a hoe. Just like he's a hoe.
I'm not calling that woman a hoe.
I will call her ass a whole asshole.
What was the definition of what? Then we got to figure out what the definition of what a hoe is.
He said for him, a hoe. He was a hoe because he chose to use women and just go around and having sex with as many women as he wanted. He didn't want to settle down and be. So for him, hoe was that definition. So if that's his definition of hoe, then okay, that's your definition of a hoe. For her, when I think of a woman who is a hoe, it could very well be the definition of this woman who had 5 kids, 5 different baby daddies, or whatever. But I don't understand. My thing is this with women, and I'm very much so very lenient on women on certain things, and I know that, right? My thing with women is I know, especially as Black women and generations ago or whatever, they equate their bodies with love. When a lot of times they go into these, not even relationships, but they go into these situationships, and they think the more of their body that they give, the more that that person is going to want them more, and that there's going to be love to develop. Also, they think sometimes the more if they give this person a child, he'll see the light, he'll settle down, they'll get the Bill Cosby, Felicia Rashad Cosby lifestyle that they envision in their head. So the reason why I don't call them a hoe is because a lot of times there's like, not misinformation, but because they don't know any better, they haven't seen any better, they think that their body is the way to get what they want. So a hoe to me varies differently. She very well could be a hoe. I don't know that. I don't know what her mental state is on that.
Okay, so if she did that the first time, I'll give her grace.
There's a lot of people that have multiple children, multiple different daddies, and some of them I will say are extremely irresponsible, because you're literally bringing a child into poverty. You are not helping. Right. So that doesn't make them a hoe. That makes them that makes them incredibly irresponsible.
Yeah, but using his definition of what a hoe is, he called his mama a hoe.
Well, if he calls his mother a hoe, he can very well call her a hoe. He can do that. I cannot. I'm not calling his mother a hoe.
But you would call him a hoe.
He calls
exactly.
himself
I don't
a
like
hoe.
the double standard. Like it's a double standard for me. It's like if you're a woman and you go out there and have 4 or 5 babies with 4 or 5 different men.
Society already calls you a hoe.
You're a hoe. I don't give a shit about society. You are a hoe.
Well,
because at the end of the day,
that's what you're saying.
At the end of the day, you should know after the first baby, maybe the second. I'll give you grace on the second. But now you want to bring a 3rd, 4th, and 5th child into this world, and you're not using any protection. And now you've got all these children with all these different men. In my eyes, I'm looking at you like, bitch, you a hoe. The same way I look at a man is if a man looked at me, listen, I've got members of my family. Listen to me. I've got members of my family and people that I know that have way over 5 children with more than 5 baby mamas. And I'm like, I say to them, have you ever thought about contraception? Like, get a vasectomy, nigga.
But do you call him a hoe?
Yes.
To their face.
You a hoe. Listen, I do one of 2 things. You're a hoe, and you're a hoe, number 1, and number 2, you're an irresponsible hoe. Because now you're bringing all these children in this world
that they're hoes.
all day. Yes, and I've said in their face, and I've said to their face, the male hoes in my family, you need to go get a fucking vasectomy. And they would.
So to the women, you call them hoes?
Yes. Well, I don't have them. I don't have women hoes in my family that have multiple children.
That's a huge difference, because a lot of people feel free to call a man a hoe and he don't take offense. But you were saying if you call your family members hoe, that's a whole different story, calling a woman a hoe to her face.
Let me make it 100% perfectly clear. If it was the men in my family that have multiple fucking children with multiple fucking women, and I'm like,
you didn't make that clear.
You're a hoe, and you need to go get a vasectomy. If you don't want to fucking strap up, then go get a vasectomy. I don't have women in my family that are out there hoeing themselves out and got multiple baby daddies and the whole 9, like 6 kids and 6 baby daddies. But if they did in my family, I'd say to them to their goddamn face, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah,
like, what are you doing?
It's different from what the fuck are you doing?
But you are. And that's the thing. And I would say the same thing to them. You're being
throwing out that
hoe.
hoe.
No, I would say the same thing to them as I said to the male. I'd be like, get a fucking vasectomy. And I'd say to the women, you're being a hoe. What the fuck are you doing? Go get your fucking tubes tied. Fuck out of here. You're fucking wasting time, wasting money. You got all this fucking baby daddies that ain't doing shit for you. And here we are. Don't get me started on this bullshit, because I could go all fucking night with this shit, with people fucking pumping out babies for no reason, just for the sake of the fucking satisfaction of having sex. And they're fucking everybody and pumping out all these babies. And all I wanted was fucking one.
Everybody.
Let's not go there. So everybody in my fucking brain, everybody that's having multiple babies with multiple fucking people is a fucking hoe in my fucking mind. Woman, men,
I'm not calling a woman a hoe. I'm not doing it.
I will call a woman a hoe in a hot New York minute. You a fucking hoe. You a fucking hoe. Everybody's a fucking hoe. I don't give a fuck. I don't have that loyalty like that. I'll say that shit with my whole ass chest. I will say that shit. I will say that shit to a family member or a close friend with my whole ass chest. If you want to act irresponsible like that, I will fucking. If we're friends like that, I'll call you out like that. And if we're not friends, you don't like it, motherfucker, I'm out. I don't give a fuck. If I lose a fucking friend in my life, I'm fucking 56 years old. I don't give a fuck if I lose anybody in my life at this point. Fuck out of here. And here I am. That's why I live by myself and I stay by my goddamn self.
And that's why you not a hoe.
I'm not a hoe.
Why you not a hoe. I'm not a hoe. I don't know. I might have hoe.
I never called you a hoe. I'm not a hoe. Nigga, I'm a fucking bitch. I'm a motherfucking. I'm not a hoe. At the point where I'm like, I haven't had sex in a hot New York minute.
I didn't call you a hoe.
What else you want to talk about?
I want to be a hoe. I wouldn't mind having motherfuckers rolling up in my motherfucking house all hours of the night, blowing my back out. Be that hoe. But what I'm not going to be is a fucking baby mama of fucking 5-6 children with 5-6 baby daddies. You, ma'am, are a hoe. And you, sir, are a hoe for producing all these guys.
He said he was a hoe. So I'm going to go with his definition for him and his family.
And here we are. Yeah. Next.
But my thing is what I get why you brought it up, Chris, with your little sneaky ass grin. Well, I took umbrage to that and wanted to clarify. But my thing, what really made the dialogue between him and the younger guys just so relevant is that you do have so many from our generation and older who had that mindset that they had to be like, they had this mentality that they, instead of building something, because you notice any man that is successful usually marries pretty relatively early, at least 25, 30, and they build something with one person. And if you want to have some type of financial stability, some type of something to leave to your children, everything gets better when you have that nuclear family there instead of spread out all over the place. And you have men like this who are now getting to this age and look back and say, was it really all worth it not to build something and have something instead of just out here in the streets trying to be this pimp? And so many people have that mentality even now. But I see a lot of younger people, like when I look at like the 30-year-olds that I know around me, 30, 40, early, well, I'll say 30s, all 30s or whatever, they're getting married. They're building something. They're building generational wealth. They're getting married. So I feel like that mindset that we had in our generation and generations before us, that mentality is changing. And you don't, I'm hoping that you're not seeing it as often, because we really do need to change the narrative. One, that Black women are the least likely to get married. We need to change that, because that's a hardcore statistic. and really focus on teaching young women, especially just because somebody winks and nod at you and says that you're pretty and says that they want to sleep with you, it is never going to equate to love because you are giving him everything that he wants without any commitment. So that's what I was really getting at in listening to what he was saying.
Yeah, but he was regretful because he's,
it's too late now.
Yeah, it's too late.
I hope he's teaching his
most
son
men
that.
his age, it's too late. He's like, I'm out here at my Dollar Tree. Well, I didn't know he was at Dollar Tree, but I'm just being that bitch. He was at his Dollar Tree getting his little groceries, doing his little shopping with his little cane, and now he's going home
his little brown
by himself.
sandals.
With his little sandals. He's going home by himself. He's got his little gimp, and he's got his little health issues. Now he's going to go home, and now he regrets the fact that he wasn't good to his family. He wasn't good to the woman that loved him and the kids that he birthed with her.
He only had one son.
Life. Listen to me. This is my life. That's my daddy. When I saw that shit, I was like, that's my father. That was like, when he got old and sick, and now he wants to reconnect and talk about, I'm sick and I got this and I got that, and now I want to be in your life. No, we're done here. And now I'm the bad bitch because I don't want no part of you. Sorry that you're sick and you're dying. That's not my motherfucking problem. There's a whole lot of men out there in this world that are dealing with this now. That shit hit me to the core when I saw that shit. Because that is the man that birthed me.
I'm sure there are women too, because who are they not marrying? Those same women.
Yeah.
So they're probably wasted their time chasing after people who didn't want them or wasn't committed, and now they have nothing or no one.
At the end of the day, people, regardless if you're man or a woman.
Love who's gonna love you. I said, love who's gonna love you.
Yeah, that. But on top of the fact of, at the end of the day,
love who's gonna love you.
You need to look at your life, and if you have children, you brought children into this world. You need to get your affairs in order and take care of your children, love your children, do the most. Because I'm going to speak for myself. I wasn't asked to be brought here. Both of y'all have come from loving, married parents. I don't have that
My
y'all
mother was
have.
not married when I was born.
Yeah, but you have two loving parents. I know what you're saying. I know you. I get what you're saying. But you have two loving parents. Listen, you have two loving parents. Chris, you have two loving parents. Y'all was raised up right. I come from a different situation. So for me, it's like, take care of your fucking kids. If you want to fucking be a hoe and birth all these kids, raise them, take care of them, and stop. Yeah. Well, it's a whole nother rabbit hole I can go down, and I'm gonna shut up right now because it's gonna be fucking ugly.
No, you're very... What?
What else do you want to talk about? Besides hoes.
Just come in there and
everybody's a hoe. At the end of the day, everybody's a hoe.
It'd be like, just sit back in the cut, like.
At the end of the day, everybody's a hoe. You're a hoe, whether it be you're in a relationship and have children, and then you're a hoe because you want to get your money, or you're a hoe because you're working for a company or an industry and you're trying to get your money. Everybody's a hoe. Everybody
you're a prostitute. You're not a
Everybody's a
hoe.
hoe.
You're a
We are
prostitute.
all
There's a
prostituting
difference.
ourselves. We are all prostituting
But
ourselves
you
for
can be a prostitute.
the fucking
A
dollar.
prostitute is at least getting paid for it. A hoe is
Yeah, I'd
just
rather be
fucking
a
for hoeing.
prostitute.
I'll be a prostitute all day and make my money. But I ain't trying to be no hoe. I'm not trying to be a hoe, bringing kids into this world and fucking chasing down fucking child support payments. Nah, I'm good.
Most of them don't even chase them down, unfortunately, and that's why so
Yeah,
many men get
exactly.
away with
You
it.
can't. At the end of the day, you know, it's a moot point trying to chase down fucking child support payments. Anyway, next subject. Let's go to the pop culture fucking thing. Wendell Pierce, who is a renowned actor, Broadway stage, the whole nine. How the hell does Wendell Pierce go to fucking Harlem to rent an apartment for a year?
For his nephew.
Right.
Oh,
And
it's
get
for his
denied.
nephew?
It was for his nephew. And he supplied all of the paperwork, all of the pay stubs, everything. Bank account statements, everything. And
Other homes that he's owned.
yep, all the properties that he owns. And the white man that owns the brownstone of the apartment in Harlem denies him to rent the apartment.
Not having steady income. You gotta
for
make
not
that
having
clear.
steady income.
A 9 to 5. Is that
And
a steady income?
the fact that Wendell said, I'll pay it off for the whole year. The
So he
whole
offered to pay the rent for
goddamn
the whole
year.
year.
The
Yes.
whole
Yes.
year, Shahida. The whole year. He went back to that man and was like, I'll write you a check for the rent for the whole year. Now we're talking New York City, Harlem, you already know that rent. We don't know. I don't know the square footage of the
What it is
apartment,
now.
but all I'm saying is
Yeah.
let's do an even 3,000 times 12.
Easy.
Let's do an easy 3,000 a month times 12. And Wendell's like, I'll pay the entire year of rent. If I was that landlord or the homeowner, I'd have been like, run me my motherfucking money. And
Up
I don't have
front?
to deal
Yeah.
I don't have to deal with you. I don't have to deal with nothing with regards to this apartment for a whole last year.
Yeah, that doesn't make any.
And he still got
Right.
denied because he's a black man in America in Harlem. That was the most disrespectful shit to me. I'm like, it's fucking Harlem. It's like going to Brooklyn. It's like Brooklyn, Harlem, Bed-Stuy, the whole nine. It's like gentrification is fucking real, and I don't like that.
I didn't know the whole story. That does sound messed up. I don't even know what I can add to that because they've just. What's the landlord's excuse? That he didn't have. I mean, because you can't say, "Oh, because you don't have steady income."
That was his. That was the.
A 2-year lease, a 3-year lease, then say that. But if somebody's paying you a year up front, then you negotiate the second year on the other side of it. That's crazy.
I don't care about your steady income. At the end of the day, if you
as a landlord, you do care about steady income.
What Wendell put in his Instagram post, he was right spot on. He's like, he literally rolled out his whole ass resume. And I was like, damn, I as a layperson, I'm like, damn, I didn't know you was in that shit. Like,
he's done a lot of stuff.
He's done a lot of stuff. He's in
and
everything.
He literally rolled it down. He was like, I have been in this series, this series, this series, this series. I've been in this business for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And I have properties in this country that I've bought. And I'm like, and nobody wants to sell you. I'm like, I want to call Wendell Pierce right now and be like, bro, I'll go rent me a fucking Section 8 apartment and you can rent my fucking townhome for a
You
year,
ain't get no
and let
Section
me
8.
make my money. Let me
You
make
ain't
my
getting
money.
Section 8.
No, I'm not doing Section 8. You know,
Yeah,
I
you ain't
wouldn't be. I
getting
wouldn't
Section
qualify.
8. You're not
I
doing
wouldn't
it because you
qualify
ain't
for that.
getting it.
Listen, I wouldn't qualify for Section 8, but I'll go to an apartment. I'll
The
pay
waiting list is
I'll go to
already
the
3 years
seaport,
long.
bitch. I'll go to the seaport and fucking live down there, high on the hog, and I'll be like, Wendell, go live in my fucking house for fucking. You want to give me that money for a year? Oh, come on, bitch. Come on.
That's insane. But okay, did you guys hear about that representative? What's his name? Byron Donalds. He's trying to be Trump's. He's black.
Yeah,
Oh God, yes.
we
I
saw it.
I, I don't
Black
even know his name, but as soon as you said that,
people did better under Jim Crow. A black man said that with his
A
full chest.
black man married to a white woman with
I don't
fucking
care who he's
biracial
married
children.
to. I don't care who he's married to. This is when you know the educational system in America is so trash, because if they have not watered down what Jim Crow is so bad. I don't even think a lot of kids even know what Jim Crow is. Matter of fact, I'm going to give my grandson a test, because at 13, going into the 8th grade, he should know what Jim Crow is. And I'm going to ask him, even though I
No,
do tell him a lot of stuff.
there's no
But
need.
this is a grown, full man who believes that Jim Crow kept the black family together. Fucking not true. That was his mainstay. That was his main reason for saying that black people did better. He was like, we owned more businesses that they burnt down, that they tortured black business owners for. He has no clue how violent the Jim Crow era was. It's violent now, but the violence of that time is on a whole nother level. And this man said that we thrived under Jim Crow. And to be honest, we did, because we have thrived in America,
because we had to.
because we had to, and no other group has done as much as we have done under the foot of white people. But for this man to say that like it's a good thing, oh, so disgusted. So disgusted.
I'm always amazed though, but I am always amazed that for political gain or for personal gain, and that he can put his whole heart into a statement like that, and really, like even Tim Scott, like it's so hard for me to believe that he can't go to sleep at night going just even this much of like, maybe you have to believe it so much to say it with your chest. I just that you can go to sleep at night with the rhetoric that you talk, with the bullshit, and not have this much regret, just this much. That's how can you sleep at night? Like Tim Scott, oh my God, just I don't understand
It's not
some black
about
folks.
that. It's not about sleeping at night. It's about power.
Yeah, but you have to
But it
sleep
is
with
what it
yourself. You
is.
have to be with yourself. Yeah, of course,
Yeah,
it's power. But for the
they
sake of power, to sacrifice, it's just sickening
But
to
you know
me in
what?
general.
will
Just
I
sacrifice.
get
We're
exactly. No, I get it,
talking
because
about
I'm baffled.
we're talking
Okay.
about Byron, whatever his name is, and Tim Scott, that they are willing to sacrifice everything. They will set aside everything, their family, their beliefs that they grew up with. They
the
will set
people.
everything, their own people, for the sanctity of Trump. Byron is married to a white woman. I don't know who fucking Tim Scott's married to. If he's married,
He's
the
engaged to a
word on
white
the
woman.
street is gay.
He's engaged to a
So he's
white
married
woman.
to a white woman. Okay, and here we are. So it's like Joyanne Reed friggin' read old boy for filth last night was like, would your marriage sustain in Jim Crow? And he had to own it. He was like, no. But he did the no, but. And I was like, there's no but
There ain't
here.
no but. Mm-hmm.
There's no but. You got a white wife, you got biracial children, which your asses would be lynched, killed. Your house would be burnt down if it was Jim Crow era. And here we are. I don't understand how these black men, black people, black women are standing for Donald Trump and post Jim Crow era to get back to where it was. No, because when we had our own cities and our own towns, because y'all didn't want nothing to do with us, we had our own cities, we had our own towns, we had our own schools, we had our own shops, we had our own supermarkets, we had our own doctors, we had our own lawyers, we had our own everything. They didn't like it because we're doing the most. And it's still irrelevant till today, where if we do the most, we do better than you, you don't like it. And now you're going to make our lives miserable. Back in the day, they burned our towns down. Tulsa, Rosewood. Let's go there.
So one of the things that I always say, because both of you all have made like the same points, and Chris, I get what you're saying, because I do. I sit there and I ponder, like, how do you sleep? But then you ask yourself the same thing for black people. When you think about Ted Cruz, this man called your wife a whole dog.
Right.
A whole dog. You never stood up for this woman in public, your wife. And it wasn't one time, it was over the course of a whole debate. Days after, he did it on Twitter. He was firing into your wife's looks like nothing. McConnell, same thing, went in on your wife, called her a chink and all kind of other things, and what? Crickets. So when you say, Tanya, it is the proximity to power, they all give up their whole testicles just to have that power, which is insane to me, because
I don't understand it.
You could still be just as powerful, because the man is not in the fucking White House. He's not in the White House. And when he was in the White House, you still didn't have any more power than you do now.
Yeah.
But they're still craving it. They're still trying to appease. And for black people, especially, Tim Scott and this guy, what's his name? Donald.
I forgot
Byron Donald. You can't even go to a rally of his in certain states, because the Ku Klux Klan, the Nazis, the white supremacists are there and full blown, and they have thrown some of the black Trump supporters out because they don't want to even sit next to you in these auditoriums. They still have sundown towns in these southern areas that you can't even go to, that all have Trump signs. So you can sit up there and you can tout how much you love this man and how much is it. If those people support him, how do you support him? You don't fit in.
And I don't feel bad for them at the end of the day.
I
don't feel bad for them. If you want to side on that side of Trump and his people and, the Jim Crow people, whatever, you go ahead and do you, boo-boo. I'm done. When the shit hits the fan, though, no, we're good.
It's crazy. All I gotta say.
But is there going to be a day of reckoning? That's the whole. Is there actually going to be a day of?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Not for them.
So. I think it's a whole lot of talk. I think it's a whole lot of rhetoric on, and we're talking about it. I think it's a whole lot of rhetoric online, TikTok, the cable news channels, whatever. I think at the end of the day, whoever is voted into the White House, I don't think nothing's going to change.
Well, there's a theory that neither one of them are going to be up for election.
How?
That it's going to be like neither one of them will be the nominee for the election.
I would love
Biden,
for
nor Biden nor Trump.
Trump doesn't die.
What?
That's what I'm saying. I would love before November that the both of their old asses would drop dead and die, and we can fucking start anew. Shit. Sorry, not sorry.
That's gonna be a hell. Because no matter who you get on, I like Biden. I like Biden. I'm not in agreement with him with Israel at all. Not even close. And he is losing the election because of this. And he really needs to get his shit together, because you can't sit there and tell me that what I see happening, in my face is not happening. And you cannot sit here and tell me they're getting away with a lot of stuff, and then they're gaslighting us. You cannot tell me I have not supported Jews hell and high water over things, but I'm seeing what you're doing to these people in this land and killing them. And Biden, get your shit together. I'm still voting for you because I see the bigger picture. But at the end of the day, get it together.
I don't give a fuck what your color is, what your religion is. I don't give a shit. But at the end of the day,
fair is fair and right is right.
Fair. Why am I over here fucking struggling? And I have a good job. I have a good career. And I'm over here fucking nickel and diming everything that I'm fucking doing. And these
reparations.
I want my motherfucking money. I don't give a fuck about reparations, but I want my fucking money. I want my
when they get reparations, they've gotten it from the whole world. We have never gotten ours.
That's a whole nother conversation with reparation. Because the fucking Holocaust Jews got all their money. The Japanese that was in the internment camps back in the day in California, they got their money.
So how is it a different conversation?
So why all of a sudden it's so difficult to have this discussion when it comes to black people getting their fucking reparations? Why? Because
that's you saying.
I'm not gonna say no more. Listen, I already know they hate us, and it is what it is.
But they can't be without us.
Well, we already know that.
We try and be by ourselves. You still want us near you.
And shutting yourselves in our lives. And here we are.
What did somebody say? Somebody said, it was a comedian, said if that certain white people don't want you in their neighborhoods, they're like, oh, so scared of black people. But if slavery was to come back, they would open up their front doors.
That was
back in, they want you in their kitchens, they want you taking care of their kids, but then they got the audacity to be like, oh, we don't want you in your neighborhood, but you'll welcome us in your house if we working for you, and you don't have to pay us nothing.
Well, that's the
it was a funny joke shit. And it was true.
It's fucking very true.
I think I sent that shit. I think I sent that.
Oh, it was your joke? Oh my god, it was funny.
No, I think I sent it. I sent that to you.
Oh, okay, yeah, that was a good one.
It was like 2 days ago. Yeah.
It was
but at the end of the day, as long as we work for them, they're good. But if we roll up in their fucking neighborhood, fucking living like they do, making more money than they do, or making the same amount of money as they do, and living our best life, they can't handle that shit. And that's why they have burnt down fucking cities, Tulsa, Rosewood, and the whole nine. Listen,
and way more than that. All right. Anything else before we sign off? Because we were hot today. Except I feel like Chris was like, being an instigator today, because he was just sitting in the cut smiling like, let's talk about this.
Let me get
these holes all riled up.
Let me go on my phone real quick to make sure. Oh, I got another gripe. Oh yeah, I got one more gripe.
Okay.
Fucking Tesla. fucking J. Cole. Did we not see the video of J.
Oh, yeah,
Cole?
yeah.
J. Cole was at the fucking Tesla. Oh, yeah, I'm looking at the video right now. J. Cole was at the fucking Tesla fucking shop
I sent
in
it to you at the Tesla.
LA, where he was looking at the fucking that god awful fucking truck that
Oh yeah, that's an ugly thing. I didn't see it, but go ahead.
Yeah. J. Cole went in there because J. Cole is J. Cole. And he's like, I have my little backpack. And he would look, you know, if I didn't know J. Cole, I would think, I'm like, who the fuck you doing? He walked up in there and they was rushing his ass out of there, trying to get his ass out of there real quick. They did a Pretty Woman with his ass and was like, go, get. And his person that recorded the video was behind him and recorded and was like, both me and J. Cole are trying to buy the Tesla trucks. And you can see the video. I'll send you the video. But I'll send you the video. And
he had $400,000 in cash, and I think in his thing too.
They're trying to rush his ass out of there. And I'm saying,
he said he looked like a homeless person.
He looked like a homeless person. He did. I will give him that. He did look like a homeless person. But at the end of the day, don't judge a book by its cover. And at the end of the day, for me, I'm like, why are we still trying to get in these places? I'm not spending my money. I'm not buying a fucking Tesla. I can afford a Tesla, but
this man already said he don't like black people. He done proved it over and over again. Why are you buying his
buy a fucking Tesla? I'll never buy a fucking Tesla. I'll never put $1 in that man's pocket. But if I had hundreds of thousands of dollars, I'm not going to the Tesla showroom to fucking look at that truck and get shushed out. He got shushed out of that goddamn place. And I would have been like,
did he go back and buy it?
No.
Did he go back and buy it?
No.
No, did he?
I don't know.
I would never go back.
I'm not sure.
I bet I want to know because I bet you they probably send him a little apology letter and blah 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 coming or whatever.
Not only an apology letter, but a fucking
let me finish.
We'll give you the whole ass truck.
Right. And if he takes it, then you're just a fucking sellout.
If he takes it, he's a fucking coon and a fucking sellout. Because me, I'd have been like, fuck off. I'll go to fucking Jeep. You know, I'm fucking a Jeep Wrangler, bitch. I'll go to Jeep and get me a fucking Jeep fucking Wrangler. State of the art, fucking top of the line Jeep Wrangler. That's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, I thought we were over that, but you know, all right. I didn't know that had happened. That was this week?
Yep.
Yes. If it's not in the chat, send it to me because I didn't see it.
I'll send it to you. It's yeah, I got it. I'll send it. Chris, you got it?
I'm looking for it right now.
Yeah, I have it. I'll have it. I'll send it. Anyway, I love you guys.
So next week is definitely, I want to talk the TV shows that we are watching. Today we did all social stuff, but I have some good TV shows. Good TV shows I'm watching. And then I went back to some old classics.
Yes, let's do it.
You ever watch? I'm not even going to talk about it. But until next time.
Hacks is good. Hacks.
Oh, I know.
Very good. I finished it. Yes, I did.
I'm still in the second season.
You still okay? You just okay, but it's so excellent. It's written so
really good.
Oh my god, I love it. Yeah. I love Jean Smart in this. She's like
Loot.
She's really good.
I finished the second. I finished the latest season of Loot too. Very good.
But you know the girl? You know who her mother is?
No.
Lorraine Newman.
My Rudolph?
No, Lorraine Newman from the old Saturday Night Live with like Jim Belushi. Remember her?
It's whose mother?
Is the redhead girl's mother. I can't think of a character's name. Lorraine Newman is her mother.
The girl that plays the writer for...
Yeah, the one who's the writer.
Who plays Ava.
Yeah, Ava.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Because I was just like, who is she? Where'd she come from? Like, bam, she's in like this super fantastic show. But she's good.
Don't get me started.
She is good.
Nepotism. And I just can't. We'll end it on this one. And I just can't wait Speaking. I need to be a Nepo baby. I want to be a Nepo baby. I'm a Nepo grandmother right now, and I don't have no grades.
Okay. Well, on that note.